Hello friends, we continue building of the beast for my friend Rod. There have been some challenges like this finger groove. The idea is to have better control over the knife, even though in my view you remove the blade away from the handle, then of course you have to have something. If the handle would be normally here, the control is already there, but it doesn't matter. That was the desire. I'm happy to do it if I can, but now I'm up against the bigger challenge, which is a bottle shaped handle. My handles are typically flat, these sides, and now the idea is to have it like a bottle shape, which means here and here I have to grind with the belt running across the one of the wheels. And the challenge that I see is that my wheels are small diameter, and these grooves are typically ground with the bigger diameter wheels, which means the shape will already come nice. And if I go with the smaller one, means I will make a, how should I say, smaller diameter hole. So it will be a challenge. Well, anyway, so, but still, I'm a sucker for challenges. So let's go. Let's try to do it. You can see also the handle over here. It's a little bit different. It goes over the finger guard. I have to confess, it does add to the appeal. So if I grind this nicely, if I manage to do it, it will be a very nice, it will be a very nice feature of the knife. One other thing which will be challenging is shaping or rounding of the handle, because you know, I make the patinated blades, so I glue the scales when most of the stuff is already finished. And with so much shaping before gluing, it's almost impossible to put it in place. So I'm trying to figure out that now, how to do it with the shorter pins to be able to access everything. So that's it. First of all, try to find the smaller pins that will not protrude, and I will be able to shape it, hopefully. So let's go. And then I see I need to shape a little bit further. So I will look for the thing with these pins is it's brass, it's not cheap. I don't wanna, you know, throw it around, but I just figured out I have some smaller ones. If you can compare, this is a normal length of the, you know, something I use, and these are the smaller ones. So hopefully I don't have to throw away stuff. But we will see if they fit. I will try to grind them, to grind the ends so they enter nicer, and then we will see. There is a small case of the difference in the diameter of the pins. I think those shorter ones are from a different batch, and they are 0.1 millimeter wider in diameter, so I'm not sure how that will fit, but we will see. So scale number 1, scale number 2, put the knife. I want to put the knife on something which is a little bit softer because it's already you know, cleaned up decently, and I don't want to redo all that stuff again. Just to give you an example of the length of what I will try to use. So the fit is not bad. Let me use the, maybe it will be enough if I use two. The funny thing with this stuff is you are sure, for example, oh, two will be enough. But then the stuff is so precise that if you are not doing it properly, end of the day, you will get things, you know, not fitted in a nice way. And with my design, okay, it goes in. Now, if this one goes well, then we are gold. Or I think my friend Liam uses mint. So let's see if we can do the, I don't know, how's that called in English? We call it, well, in short, parrot pliers. No, this will not be good. Let's. This is because, as I said, I think the pins are not exact same diameter, but on the other side it is good because the fit will be quite tight and it will not move too much as I shape. So you can see this is good. So first part of the operation, it's okay. Now try and make the, how do you call that? The grinds. Knock off the edges, see what I can do. Let's go over to the grinder. I put on a used 120 grit belt because I really want to go slow on this one. In reality, if I see that I'm not making it, I will stop the stuff and yeah, just do it in some other way. Let's go. Just to show you what I meant, so I'm slowly going in and you saw the movement, because if I would just put it here, there would be a groove as wide as my finger. So it's not what we're looking for. We are looking for the nice curve. So we'll continue doing that. Actually, I figured out a little bit better way to do it. It will ease the grinding of the grooves, and you will see what I meant. It is working way too slow. I need to get 80 grit or even 60 and go a little bit lighter on the pressure. I just hope I don't mess it up. So the fear that I have is, you know, Bocote wood, first of all, is not cheap. There is a certain amount of effort already put into grinding it to G10, gluing it to G10, all that stuff. If I mess things up now, it's a lot of additional work, which, I mean, who wants to do stuff twice, huh? Sure how much you can see, but this is it. From here on I go with the file, so I want to make sure smooth everything, but the feel in the hand, I mean, it's solid. I think this type of handle might become my standard one. Good stuff, good stuff. Okay, this will be another level of unknown, so we will fix the knife here. I still didn't get the vise that rotates, and I don't know if there's a specific name for that vise. And now you will see me, you know, trying things out, because a lot of this is new to me. Since I dare to get into this challenge, well, let's see what we can do. You're not seeing me what I'm doing. I'm getting some files, try with this 2 round and you know, half, just to see how much that will do. And also I will use the sandpaper. Not sure how I will later on finish this lanyard hole, but this is the knife of challenges, so we'll just keep going until we finish. I have to say it's not that bad. I want to try what happens if I go with a, you know, sandpaper in this way, because this really rounds up stuff. I would say much easier than file. Of course, I had to go onto the blade itself, mess it up a little bit, but I guess it will not be too much of a problem. And I have to say, I'm very happy how this goes. I was foreseeing much more problems in my problem-seeing mind. Much easier and much faster than I was thinking. It's quite nice. And the good stuff about this is as we go in on the various levels, also the texture of the wood shines, or well, I wanted to say shines in a way it shows in its most beautiful way, because various levels open up of this wood texture. And you know, as the bocote is fantastic, it is almost perfect for it. Man, this is awesome. Really fantastic stuff. I wonder what Master Smith will say. So it's master, it's coming from, I don't know, he started to call me master. I guess he thinks from the level of knife making, but sometimes I see in some movies somebody calling somebody a master without, you know, him being a really master of anything. So I don't know whether you call the Eldars like that, or I can see the camera is shaking a bit. So this part, I think it's roughly done. You can see the shape. I'm not sure if this is completely the one which is best possible, but I will stop here. From here onwards, I will just go with a finer and finer sandpaper. I will not, how shall I say, challenge my luck. And then we will see the feedback from Master Smith, and eventually on the next build we can do it a little bit different, a little bit more or less, or you know, whatever. So the other side, and also need to get me a vise where I will just loosen the bolt and turn it around and continue going. Even though on the other side I'm thinking all this kind of stuff, craftsmen of the old were building things without too much, and now we, you know, like kind of want a tool for every single operation. So maybe I will not get that twice, who knows. It's very interesting how the angles are a little bit different, and I have to do oh man, just a little bit, and it's there. Perfect. When I was asked to do this, to build this knife, I was like, what the heck? It's not something that I do, you know, I want to do my own stuff, my own design. But then this guy, he's been a great support through all this time, you know, liking the builds, coming up with a great comment, you know, making sure, sorry, not making sure, but with his comments, lifting my spirit. And as it turns out, he was right also about this one, which Master Smith, thanks a lot. And the great stuff, if I manage to do this in a way that I'm doing now, and the shape actually turns out as it should be, good stuff will be that also the sides of the knife will remain dark, which is not a huge thing, but it is another nice little detail that separates the, you know, the builders from one another. One does this, the other does that, and then all this stuff comes with its own. So it can be done. Keep the small pins, not throwing them away, and we are gold. Or I think, as Liam says, mint, if I understand properly that part. How's that? I like it on all levels. What I have to do is, actually I don't think I have to do anything. Clean up this part inside. Not sure if I will go crazy on this, and mostly that's it. I will go this was now 80 grit. I'll do some manual work like this, just making sure all the edges are knocked off, as if I'm, you know, going all crazy. Let's go totally crazy. And then I will go in with 150, 180, no, sorry, 280, 600, and then finish with 2000. And that should be it. What I learned, or sorry, what I started doing is cleaning up stuff as I don't need it. Because before, as I was not doing that, my whole workbench was a mess, and after 2 hours of work I didn't have any place to put anything. So we will change this, or I change this now, and yeah, it's much better. So we go with 150. I try to explain with in my video on a kitchen knife the grids that I'm using and the problems that I'm occasionally facing. And for some reason, I don't know whether I deleted that part of the video or didn't even record it, who knows. The point, 80 grit grind marks will sometimes, I don't know, you know, for what reason, I guess the lighting and everything will not show. So going with 150 looks like it's all good, going 180 looks like it's all good, and then all of a sudden at 600 it turns out there are scratch marks. Now if I want to clean them up, I have to go back to 150 and you know, do the whole procedure all over again, which it's of course time consuming plus annoying. So but what I do now is put the knife, for example, closer to the light, make sure that I use light source properly, What this means is if you put the object which you are examining between you and the light source, you will see the shadows within the, you know, the scratches much better. As opposed, what I mean is, camera is the light source. If I put it to hit my object here, I will see easily the shading, the shades of the scratch mark. If I put it from this side where I'm looking, the shadow is away from my eye. So this is a little, well, call it a tip if you want. I was reading actually an article on trackers, military trackers in I think Rwandan trackers, which were very famous to find the tracks, you know, of the enemies and stuff. So was quite nice article, and this is where I picked it up, this thing. Now what I see is that this side is not as equal, and the thing is, this is manual work, right? So it's not something that falls out of the machine, which is why I typically don't go on crazy, and I'm not doing it as that. But if I'm seeing certain inconsistencies, or let's say things that might hurt the feel of the knife in terms of visual appeal, how do you call that, then I try to go back in and fix it. It's maybe a couple of minutes of work, but then overall feel of the knife is much better. Yeah. So 150 done. It's very interesting new approach. I thought it will be much more demanding, but I guess after so many handles and so many knives, even though I can't call myself master, there is a decent amount of knowledge accumulated that helps with this stuff. Good thing. Very good. This is now 280. The Bocote is just driving me crazy with its beauty. This is one of the top 10 expensive wood, but you can probably understand why is that. Awesome, really awesome. And I'm happy that I will be able to show my friend something. I was in Italy on business trip 2 days ago. Well, actually I was there for 2 days and I didn't send update, and yeah, there was a WhatsApp, like you know, kind of, hey, I'm missing the update, which I really love. It, I see that people like what I do, and it's always a good thing. I mean, I'm pretty sure you understand what I'm talking about. I will make a a little bit better video later on. So 280 done. 600. At 600, now the wood starts to shine a little bit, and you can also see how the contrast is increasing between the sections. So you can see the blacks are getting darker. Sorry, the darks are getting darker, and I guess because they are getting darker, the light parts are more, you know, perceived as dark. But I don't know if you're familiar with that concept. The fact is that you will never see white so white as you will see it when there is a black close to it. So that's the thing. That's why they say there is no, you don't know, for example, good if you didn't experience at least a little bit of evil. I'm not sure if you can see it now. You see this blotch? This is the old marks, and here. And as I told you, it shows up at 600, but luckily, you know, here was very, very little of it. I go quickly in with 150 and double check again with 600 if I took it out. If not, I will just return. But a big part of it is gone. And these are these small details that then, you know, people will find a small line or something, but it will be small line. It will not be like, you know, somebody did something fast just to get it over with. But he put or she put an effort. There are also some great female knife makers out there. Well, not great. They surpassed me by big margin. So, heads down. But also, sometimes you see there are some lines. I was at the first tricked that these are the marks of the grinder, but actually it's the opening of the pores of the wood. So we have to be careful. I mean, not to go crazy, grind like, you know, crazy, and then at the end it's not actually a problem, but yeah, the wood. Sometimes there are certain parts which are unclear, so yeah, we will not bother with that. It's getting nicer and nicer. So the one thing left to do is use the 500, and then I notice a part which I will see now. This one here, where it's very difficult to access. I will either leave it or, I don't know, figure out how to get in. But I think it's great. After I finish now the inside, it will be awesome. Of course, now as I will put it into the vinegar, we will see what happened with it when I glue it, because after the vinegar is on and patina is there, I don't want to touch it too much. This the only thing that I can do is mess it up. But now you can see the handle. This knife will be, I think, the best I ever made. How it sits in the hand, this is epic. And also you don't see it, the hamon that I see under certain, as the light falls, this will also be, if it will etch nicely, it will be next level. But let's see. So now I'll go back in, Scotch Brite, just this edge, leave a little bit of marks here, pull this out, knock off this edge. Probably I will do that before with the high-speed rotary tool that I showed you before, and then it goes into the vinegar. Stay tuned.